Hello, the internet. Welcome on Professional Movie Reviews. My name is Mark, and yeah, I'm going to be reviewing Secret Life of Pets. Secret Life of Pets is a movie by Illumination. They did the Minions and Despicable Me stuff, so they nailed one out of the park with Despicable Me. One also out of the park with Despicable Me 2. Nice base hit with Minions. I actually liked Minions. A lot of people didn't. And this one's... Alright, I'll get to that. So, what Secret Life of Pets is about is a dog gets who really is really into his owner, dog named, I'm forgetting his name right now, Max, done by the voice of Louis C.K., who and his owner gets a new dog, a huge dog, named Duke, and Duke, like, they don't really get along right away, and then they go on an adventure and they come back. That's what it's about. So there's your non-spoilery synopsis, and does it all work out at the end? We'll see. Or I already saw, but you'd see if you watch it. Okay, welcome to Professional Movie Reviews. I felt like doing the synopsis first. I've never done that before. The way this works is I tell you to click like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And also, I don't know, man, like, share this. Do all that internet stuff that people usually ask you to do on internet stuff. I'm shameless, man. Plug me. Throw me out there. Okay. And so the way this works is I'm going to tell you my positives, and I'm going to give you the negatives of this movie that I felt to Secret Life of Pets. And then I'm going to give you a tailorized rating between 0 and 10. So, positives. Voice acting. Louis C.K. was really good as the main dog. Then you had Dana Carvey from Wayne's World, Garth from Wayne's World, and a lot of other stuff on early 90s SNL. He comes in, he's really funny, and he's actually, I didn't realize it was him until I looked it up. And then, yeah, Louis C.K. kind of nailed it. Lake Bell also nails her. I believe she's the big fat cat. So that's really funny. Alright, let's just jump into the meat and grits. I really like the performances. The animation was okay. It was definitely fine. It holds up to animation nowadays. It's funny. It's middle of the road, kind of funny. I'm definitely not disappointed by this movie. God, what can I say for positives? Because I got more negatives. The trailer of this movie was amazing. You've seen the trailer. You probably saw the trailer where all the people leave and then the pets do all kinds of stuff. That was really awesome. And that's like the first couple minutes of the movie. All that stuff is hilarious. There's a lot of really funny moments, especially capturing animal mannerisms and all that stuff. There's just these little tiny funny jokes that happen like in the background all the time. Like somebody will say something, like an animal will say something and drop something, and then the cat would be like, what? You know, like little stuff like that. It's really good. And also you get a big wider range of animals and pets, as they don't just stick with cats and dogs. You get to see turtles, you get to see alligators that got flushed down the drain, you get to meet a hawk that lives at the top of this building that this old man owns, and a lot of just the animal mannerisms, awesome. It's really funny. If you're a pet person at all, if you own a pet, and if, like, I'm a cat guy. I own 2 cats. I got a cat, and my fiance has a cat. My cat's named El Capone, and then her cat's named Teddy Roosevelt, and we used to live in a house with 5 people in it with 5 cats. So, I'm very familiar with cats. And there's, like, moments in here where you will immediately think of your animal of that type. Like, there's the big fat cat in here. It reminds me of the old cat that we used to live with named Franklin Roosevelt. It was a girl, Frankie. And every time Lake Bell's cat character is walking around and doing big fat cat stuff, I'm like, Frankie! So, yeah, that's going to be where you're really going to shine. This is where this shines. If you're not really an animal person, you're not really going to be noticing a lot of that really adorable, a lot of meticulous work they did on the mannerisms. Yeah, they really do feel like real dogs. I mean, or animals, and they don't, or pets. They don't look, they look animated, but their mannerisms are great. Those are kind of my biggest positives. Louis C.K. does nail it as Max, though. He completely turns into the character, and I forgot it was Louis C.K. And I did not actually see that coming because Louis has a voice that he's got a really recognizable voice, and I completely went right in. He, in some of his comedy, definitely hits. Okay. Let's get into the negatives. I'm gonna bear with me here for a second. Bear with me for a second. If you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's one of my favorite shows ever. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Watch it if you haven't. Find it, watch it. There is somewhere in season 2, I believe it's called. I don't think it's called Siege of Ba Sing Se. Minor spoilers for Avatar. I wouldn't consider this spoilers. But there's this entire episode where this huge, gigantic action thing's going on. Where this huge drill is trying to drill into this wall, because inside the wall is this big city. And then the heroes are fighting the bad guys on top of the drill. And it was supposed to be like this giant epic thing, but for some reason it falls flat. In this, you should be sucked in and you should be feeling all this action, but you don't. That is, and people have accused, even Avatar in season 3 makes fun of that episode in season 2. So back to Secret Life of Pets. What does this have to do with Secret Life of Pets? Almost the entire movie felt like that to me. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I wasn't emotionally invested in any of the action. I just wasn't. Any of the stakes didn't feel like stakes. I mean, real huge, grandiose things happen sometimes, like car crashes and weird stuff. And the whole time I'm just like, all right, cool. All right. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. I didn't get invested in almost any of these characters other than Max and Gidget, the dog from across the way who has a crush on Max. Those are kind of the only characters I really cared for. Now let's talk about Duke. And I looked the guy's name up and I already forgot. Stone Street, I believe is the guy's last name or something like that. It will come up right here because I forgot it. I'll look it up. I'll add it in editing, in post. The guy who does a voice for Duke, I don't know if it's his fault or just the writing for Duke, but I didn't care for this character. And he's like the second main character. It's him and Max most of this movie. And I couldn't care about him. And there's this huge thing that happens with him, and where it almost felt like they were going for this Pixar tug at the heartstrings, and it missed my heartstrings completely. It was a thing that was supposed to be like tears, and it just nothing. So I might just, and you can't say it's because I'm a heartless person, because I almost cried at Finding Dory. Watched the review that we did for Finding Dory. It's not that. It's just there was something with this where it just didn't grab me. A lot of it was just entertaining. And that's going to be the biggest negative, is that this movie's just entertaining for me. It didn't grab me. This isn't a Pixar movie. This didn't do to me what WALL-E did, or even Finding Dory did, or Zootopia. Zootopia is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. And this movie didn't really grab me. It's not going to be memorable as much as those. This is a fine movie. It definitely is. It's a funny enough movie. You will be entertained. The kids will love it. But if you're looking for, that animated movie of the year, it belongs to Zootopia or Finding Dory or maybe Sausage Party coming out later. This was just a good time at the theater. I didn't hate it. I don't want my money back, but it definitely didn't do that. All right, I'm going to get past that. Let's talk about another big negative I have. This is very beat to beat, and this isn't spoilers. This isn't spoilers because it doesn't end the same, but this is very beat to beat Toy Story. Woody, Toy Story. Woody is Andy's favorite toy, and then Buzz Lightyear comes in, and then he feels second rate, and he wants to get rid of him, and That's what this is, and it's not as lovable as Toy Story. But that happens. Duke comes in as the Buzz Lightyear, and he gets more attention, and he's kind of a jerk, just like Buzz Lightyear was. Well, he wasn't a jerk on purpose. But, yeah, and it kind of stole a lot of that, and then it even stole Toy Story 2, where they're off over here, and then the secondary characters have to rally together to go to try to get them. It really didn't match, or... yeah, did just like clone a lot of story beats. And I'm not saying huge ones, but story beats from old Pixar movies like Toy Story, Toy Story 2. And I noticed that. And other critics have noticed that. I'm not the first person to say that. I'm not going to claim I'm the first critic to bring that up. Not that I'm a critic. I'm just a guy drinking beer with a mohawk talking to a camera. But, yeah, a lot of people noticing that, and I thought, like, maybe, a lot of movies copy. It's kind of a little more obvious than that. It's not just that they copied them a little bit. There's pretty rough story beats that just are taken straight from it. And then my biggest negative, and I feel sorry because I actually really like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart does the voice of the villain, who's a cute little bunny. He didn't hold back any of his Kevin Hart isms. I mean, he screams every single line, and it's just, it wasn't a captivating villain. One of my favorite moments of the entire movie is a moment with him, but I can't blame Kevin Hart for that moment. It was all the animation. And that's at the end. If you've seen this, I'm not going to spoiler it, but it was pretty awesome. It was my favorite moment of the movie. Except for the punk rock poodles. You saw the punk rock poodle in the trailers. The one, he's listening to System of a Down. He later listens to punk rock. I know System's not punk rock. But, yeah, no, I really like the poodle. He's my second favorite. But there's one scene with the bunny. But besides that, Kevin Hart's bunny, Snowball, I believe is his name, completely missed the mark. I got where they were going with him, but it didn't land. Right? That's Secret Life of Pets. Go see it. I mean, why not? I mean, it's definitely it's a good movie. I'm not even saying good enough. It's a good movie. If you have kids, the kids will like it. But if you, as I already stated, I'm beating a dead horse here, but don't expect Zootopia, Finding Dory, Finding Nemo, Toy Story, Wreck-It Ralph, those type of animated movies. It's not on that level. It's not on a forgettable level like Over the Hedge. This is going to fall closer to Madagascar, which was a good enough movie. That's not in my top tier animated movies, but that's going to be closer to that. Or probably closer to Despicable Me. Maybe Despicable Me's a little higher, but that's where I'd put this movie. So it's not bad, but it's not going to be on my... If I ever do a list of favorite animated movies, it's not going to be nowhere near it. So what am I going to give it? I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 punk rock poodles. Give him like a Dead Kennedys shirt. That's a punk rock band. All right, 5 out of 10. So there you go. I hate reviews like this where it's like, yeah, it was good. 5 out of 10, certified fresh, just barely got to fresh. It's not a waste of time. That's what that is. A 5 out of 10 is an average for us. I sometimes have a co-host. Go see it. You'll like it. You're not going to be telling a lot of people about it. It's doing really good on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it's just because it's good enough to be a good review. And it is doing way better on Rotten Tomatoes than I think it deserves, but good for it. Good job. I hope it is really good this weekend, and probably it's going to do really good this weekend. Animated movies usually do really good at the box office. I'm going to stop rambling. Bye!